Did you know there's another world right beneath our feet? A world of hidden corridors, sealed chambers, and secret tunnels stretching farther than any of us can imagine. Ever since the dawn of humanity, we've told stories of underground realms. These weren't just fairy tales, they were places carved into the darkness for survival, for sacred rituals, or for wielding unimaginable power. For centuries, some of these tales were dismissed as myths, others were buried in dusty archives, and some, incredibly, remain sealed even today. From the sprawling underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey, a place that could shelter thousands, to the Native American legends of entire tribes living deep within the earth, to the mysterious Mount Yamantau in Russia, humanity has always used the underground to guard its most profound secrets. These aren't just holes in the ground. They are complex societies, forgotten sanctuaries, and military strongholds, all hidden from the sun. What secrets were so important that they had to be buried? And what happens when we finally start to unearth them? Today, we're going underground to explore the greatest mysteries hidden beneath the surface. We'll peel back the layers of earth and time to reveal the forgotten worlds that lie in wait. Let's start in Turkey, with a discovery that sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel. In 1963, a man in the Cappadocia region was renovating his home. Simple enough, right? But when he knocked down a wall in his basement, he didn't find more cellar space. He found a tunnel. And this wasn't just any tunnel. It was the entrance to the ancient, multi-level city of Derinkuyu. This wasn't a small hideout, it was a metropolis, descending a staggering 85 meters, that's almost the height of the Statue of Liberty, straight down into the earth. Archaeologists have uncovered 18 distinct levels so far, and they believe this incredible complex could have housed up to 20,000 people, along with their livestock and food supplies. Imagine that. An entire city, thriving in the dark. As you navigate its narrow, winding corridors, you'll find massive, circular stone doors, some weighing half a ton. That could be rolled into place from the inside to seal off the city from any invaders. Think about the engineering required to create that. They even carved sophisticated ventilation shafts, some running over 55 meters long, to bring fresh air to the deepest levels. There were wells providing clean water, communal kitchens with soot-stained ceilings, wine and oil presses, stables for animals, schools, and even chapels. Derinkuyu was a fully functioning, self-sufficient city, designed for long-term survival against any threat on the surface. Who built this incredible place, and what were they so afraid of? The prevailing theory is that it was expanded over centuries by various peoples, including the Phrygians and early Christians, as a massive refuge from persecution and war. It stands as a silent, stone testament to human ingenuity and the desperate will to survive. But the mysteries don't stop there. Now, let's travel across the world to Mexico, to the ancient city of Teotihuacan, the city of the gods. For centuries, explorers and archaeologists studied its magnificent pyramids, the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon. But in 2003, after heavy rains caused a sinkhole to open near a smaller pyramid, the Temple of the Feathered Serpent, a new discovery was made. Beneath the temple lay a tunnel, deliberately sealed with massive boulders nearly 2,000 years ago. What was inside? It took years of careful excavation using remote-controlled robots to find out. Once inside, they found a symbolic underworld. The tunnel was a treasure trove of offerings, thousands of objects including finely carved jade statues, jaguar remains, boxes filled with seashells from distant coasts, and strange, crystallized figurines. But the most bizarre and stunning discovery was at the very end of the tunnel, in a chamber directly beneath the pyramid's center. There, archaeologists found large quantities of liquid mercury. Pools of it, shimmering like a silver river in the torchlight, possibly meant to represent a magical, subterranean lake or river leading to the afterlife. Transporting and containing this toxic, silvery liquid would have been an incredibly difficult and dangerous task for the ancient builders. Why would they go to such lengths? Was it purely symbolic, a representation of the underworld's sacred waters? Or did the mercury serve some other, unknown ritualistic purpose? The rulers of Teotihuacan went to extraordinary lengths to create this cosmic landscape underground, a secret so important it had to be sealed away for millennia. The earth beneath us is like a history book with most of its pages glued shut. But every now and then, we manage to pry one open. In the dense jungles of the Amazon, local legends have long spoken of a vast network of tunnels created by an ancient and known civilization. For years, these stories were dismissed by mainstream science as folklore. But recent discoveries are starting to change that. Researchers have found enormous, perfectly circular tunnels, some over 2 meters high and hundreds of meters long. They're too large and too smooth to have been made by any known burrowing animal. Some scientists have dubbed them paleoburrows, speculating they were dug by extinct giant ground sloths or armadillos tens of thousands of years ago. Imagine a creature the size of an elephant digging these massive tunnels through the earth. But others aren't so sure. The tunnels seem too complex, with branching corridors and side chambers. Could they be man-made after all? The Ratanaba theory, while controversial, suggests that an ancient, highly advanced civilization built a massive network of tunnels connecting the entire continent, with its capital hidden deep within the Amazon. While there's no concrete proof yet, the discovery of these giant tunnels forces us to ask, what else is hidden beneath the Amazon's green canopy? Are these just the work of megafauna, or are we on the verge of uncovering a lost chapter of human history, one that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the ancient Americas? Now, let's shift from ancient history to the modern era, to a mystery shrouded in military secrecy. Deep in the Ural Mountains of Russia lies Mount Yamantau. Its name translates to Evil Mountain in the local Bashkir language, and for good reason. For decades, this mountain has been the subject of intense speculation and suspicion from the West. Satellite imagery since the 1990s has shown massive excavation projects taking place here. We're talking huge construction sites, new roads and railways leading to the mountain, and thousands of workers being brought in. U.S. intelligence believes Russia has been building a gigantic underground complex here, a secret bunker city possibly the size of Washington, D.C. inside the Beltway. What is it for? The Russian government has given vague and conflicting explanations, from it being a mining site to a food storage facility, to a repository for national treasures. But the scale of the project suggests something far more significant. Many analysts believe it as a continuity of government facility, a nuclear-proof command center designed to ensure the survival of Russia's leadership in the event of a catastrophic war. It's thought to be self-sufficient, with its own air and water filtration systems, and capable of housing tens of thousands of people for months on end. Mount Yamantau represents the modern-day version of Derinkuyu, but instead of protecting against swords and arrows, it's designed to withstand the apocalypse. The secrecy surrounding it only deepens the mystery. What exactly is going on inside the evil mountain? It's a chilling reminder that even in the age of satellites and constant surveillance, governments can still hide their biggest secrets deep within the earth. From ancient cities of refuge to modern doomsday bunkers, these underground worlds share a common thread. They are places of last resort, of ultimate secrets, and of immense power. They challenge our perception of history and our place in the world. They prove that what we see on the surface is only a tiny fraction of the human story. There are countless other legends of underground realms waiting to be explored, from the mythical Agartha in the Himalayas to the tunnels rumored to exist beneath the Giza Plateau in Egypt. How many of these myths are rooted in a reality we have yet to uncover? What other wonders and warnings are buried, waiting for the day they are brought back into the light? The next time you walk on solid ground, just remember the vast, dark, and mysterious world that might be stirring, silently, right beneath your feet. Across cultures, underground spaces were used to protect, to conceal, and sometimes, to transform. If the underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey was built for survival, and the hidden tunnels of Teotihuacan in Mexico for secrecy, then a site high in the Andes Mountains of Peru reveals a third, more mysterious purpose: the power to reshape human perception. This is the story of Chavín de Huántar. Chavin was a major ceremonial and pilgrimage center that thrived for centuries, from around 1200 to 500 BC. People traveled from all over the Andes to participate in its rituals. But the true power of Chavin wasn't just in its towering temples visible on the surface. It was hidden deep below, within a complex network of stone galleries and passages, a labyrinth unlike anything else in the ancient world. This subterranean world wasn't built for housing or defense. It was engineered with a specific goal in mind: to manipulate sound, light, and the very senses of those who dared to enter. Imagine walking into this maze. You're plunged into near total darkness. The corridors are intentionally disorienting. Some are so narrow they squeeze your body, forcing you into a single fall line, heightening your sense of vulnerability. Then, suddenly, a passage opens into a wide chamber where sounds behave strangely, echoing in ways that defy logic. This was a place of sensory deprivation and overload. Adding to the effect, a system of underground canals was built directly beneath the stone floors. Water flowed through these channels, creating a constant, low, rumbling sound that vibrated through the entire structure. In the pitch black, surrounded by bizarre echoes and the deep roar of unseen water, the space itself would have felt alive, like being inside the belly of a great, breathing beast. Archaeologists wanted to understand the acoustic properties of this space. So, they brought replicas of Strombus shell trumpets, known as pugitus, which were found at the site. When they played these trumpets inside the tunnels, the results were astonishing. The sound, amplified and distorted by the stone walls, became a deafening, terrifying roar. It didn't sound like a shell trumpet anymore. It sounded like the call of some immense, beast-like creature. Now, picture an ancient initiate, guided into this darkness. They're already disoriented, their senses on high alert. Then, this unearthly roar erupts, seeming to come from the very stones around them. It would feel as if the gods, or perhaps monsters, were speaking directly through the walls. The air itself would vibrate with a powerful, primal energy. At the very heart of this labyrinth, at a crucial intersection of several passages, stands the Lanzan. This is a magnificent granite monolith, 4.5 meters tall, carved with the image of a fanged, supernatural being, part human, part jaguar, part reptile. Its name, Lanzan, means great spear in Spanish, referring to its blade-like shape. To even reach it, one had to navigate the confusing, sonically charged tunnels. The Lanzan wasn't just a statue, it was the climax of a carefully orchestrated sensory journey. A small opening high above it allowed a single shaft of light to illuminate the deity's face at certain times, making it appear as if by magic out of the darkness. Light, sound, and architecture all worked together to overwhelm the senses, to break down an individual's normal perception of reality, and to prepare them for what they believed was direct contact with the divine. So, these tunnels weren't just defensive structures or symbolic representations of an underworld. They were sophisticated tools. They were, in essence, ancient machines designed to induce altered states of consciousness. The priests of Chavin were masters of psychoacoustics and architecture. They understood how to use physical space to create profound psychological and spiritual experiences. They used it to inspire awe, terror, and ultimately, a sense of revelation in the pilgrims who came seeking wisdom. The entire experience was a form of initiation, a journey designed to transform you. The entire worldview of Chavin is built on this idea of duality, light and dark, order and chaos, the world above and the world below. While daily life and public ceremonies took place in the plazas above ground, in the light of the sun, the most potent and transformative rituals happened below, in the darkness. This subterranean realm was a threshold, a liminal space between the human and the divine, accessible only to priests and chosen initiates. It was here, deep within the earth, that true change was thought to occur. So if Derinkuyu showed us how underground spaces were used for mass survival and Teotihuacan revealed their role in secret elite rituals, Chavín de Huántar points to something even more fascinating: the deliberate, highly technical use of underground architecture to engineer human experience. These weren't just structures. They were instruments. They weren't metaphors carved in stone. They were sensory engines built to hack the mind, and this idea of a powerful world beneath our feet doesn't end with archaeology. It continues into myth and legend. Some spiritual traditions from Central Asia go even further, describing not just tunnels, but entire hidden kingdoms deep within the earth. Stories of Agartha and Shambhala speak of vast, subterranean realms inhabited by advanced beings, illuminated by an eternal sun, and serving as repositories of ancient wisdom, waiting for the day when humanity is ready to receive it. These tales, whether viewed as metaphor or literal truth, echo the same deep-seated human intuition that we've seen at Chavin, that the depths of the earth hold profound secrets and transformative power. From ancient rituals to enduring myths, the idea of a world below continues to capture our imagination, reminding us that there is often more to reality than what we see on the surface. Some traditions go even further, describing not just tunnels, but entire hidden kingdoms beneath the earth. Stories of Agartha and Shambhala suggest vast subterranean realms, ruled by unseen powers, lit by an eternal, inner light, and sustained by ancient wisdom. They aren't just shelters. They're civilizations. These tales whisper of a world within our world, a place where humanity's deepest secrets are kept safe from the chaos of the surface. And as we trace these legends across cultures, a fascinating pattern begins to emerge. It's a pattern that suggests these stories might be more than just fiction. Tibetan Buddhism, for instance, speaks of Shambhala. It's often described as a realm of profound wisdom, hidden somewhere beyond the reach of ordinary geography. Some place it high in the Himalayan mountains, accessible only to those who have the spiritual insight to find the way. Others describe it as a kingdom that is literally invisible to the uninitiated eye. It is said to be a land of enlightened sages, a council of masters watching over humanity from afar, guiding our destiny in subtle, unseen ways. They preserve knowledge that the surface world has long forgotten, waiting for a time when humanity is ready to receive it. Shambhala isn't just a place, it's a state of being, a symbol of ultimate peace and spiritual attainment. The parallels between the myths of Agartha and Shambhala are striking. Both speak of secret rulers, hidden entrances, and a repository of ancient knowledge. Later, especially in the 19th and 20th centuries, these ideas took on a new life and fueled theories of a hollow earth. This concept proposed that our planet isn't a solid sphere, but contains vast inner spaces, perhaps even with its own sun and atmosphere. These inner worlds, the theory goes, are connected to the surface through massive tunnels at the north and south poles, or through other remote, secret gateways scattered across the globe. What was once myth was slowly transforming into a kind of alternative science, capturing the imagination of explorers and thinkers alike. What's truly remarkable is that these myths aren't confined to one region. They appear across continents, in cultures that seemingly had no contact with one another. In South America, legends tell of lost cities hidden beneath the Andes. In Europe, folklore is filled with stories of underground fairy kingdoms. And in North America, the traditions are just as rich. Across the globe, legends speak of glowing inner lands, powerful underground guardians, and hidden peoples who have lived there for millennia. Cultures separated by vast oceans and long centuries share eerily similar stories of a world beneath our feet. How is it possible that so many different peoples, without any apparent connection, all came up with the same fundamental idea? Native American traditions are especially rich with these underground themes. The Hopi people of the American Southwest have a powerful creation story centered on emergence. They believe that humanity once lived in a series of subterranean worlds, and were eventually guided to the surface through a small portal called the Sipapu. This opening, often represented by a hole in the floor of their ceremonial kivas, symbolizes the transition from the darkness of the underworld to the light of the current world. This act of emergence isn't just a story from the distant past, it is a sacred event that is still honored in their ceremonies today, a constant reminder of their origins and their journey. And the Hopi are not alone. Other tribes, like the Navajo, Cherokee, and Mandan, tell similar stories. Their oral traditions speak of ancestors who survived great cataclysms by taking refuge underground. They describe a cycle of worlds, floods, fire, or ice would destroy the surface, but a remnant of humanity would be saved in a subterranean sanctuary, emerging later to rebuild civilization. These stories of destruction and rebirth from an underground haven echo the archaeological realities we see in places like Derinkuyu in Turkey. It's a fascinating convergence of myth and physical evidence, suggesting a shared human memory of catastrophe and survival. Oral traditions may not be literal history, but they encode powerful patterns and collective memories. They speak of survival in darkness, of protection by unseen guardians, and of an eventual return to the light. They reflect a deep, ancestral understanding of the world, a memory of what ancient people were capable of when faced with existential threats. These myths aren't just fanciful tales, they are archives of human experience passed down through generations. They tell us about our ancestors' fears, their hopes, and the incredible strategies they developed to endure. And in Turkey, the ancient city of Derinkuyu proves that these ideas weren't just abstract. It proves that entire communities did, in fact, build massive underground shelters capable of housing tens of thousands of people, complete with ventilation shafts, wells, and storage rooms. So we have one tradition preserved in myth, the stories of emergence and subterranean kingdoms, and we have another carved in stone, the sprawling underground city of Derinkuyu. Both of them, one spoken and one built, echo the exact same idea: when catastrophe strikes the surface world, survival may depend on going underground. It's a solution that our ancestors understood and implemented. Perhaps, then, these myths and legends from around the world are preserving distant, fragmented memories of such shelters. Maybe they don't describe historical events literally, but they encode fundamental truths about how ancient people endured crises that erase much of their known world from the surface. The stories of Agartha, Shambhala, and the Sipapa might be more than just legends. They could be the echoes of real events, a testament to the resilience of our ancestors, and a reminder that sometimes the greatest secrets of our past are buried right beneath our feet. Imagine a world hidden right beneath our feet, a world of colossal chambers and endless tunnels, carved in total secrecy. What if I told you that in 1992, in China's Zhejiang province, a group of local farmers stumbled upon something so vast and so baffling that it defies all explanation? This is the story of the Longyou Caves, a mystery that challenges everything we think we know about our ancient past. It all started with a simple pond, one that the villagers called the Bottomless Pond. For generations, they had pulled fish from its strangely deep, dark waters. One day, a man named Wonai had a bold idea. He wondered what would happen if they simply pumped all the water out. He convinced his neighbors, and for 17 days and nights, they ran a water pump, draining the pond dry. What they found wasn't the bottom of a pond. It was the entrance to another world. Beneath the quiet hills of Xianbeicun, they had uncovered a massive, man-made cavern. But it wasn't just one. They soon discovered that this was part of a network of at least 24, possibly more, enormous chambers, all carved from solid siltstone. We're talking about rooms with ceilings reaching up to 30 meters high, pillars the size of small buildings, all shaped with an impossible precision. The scale is staggering. Each cave is an architectural marvel, with straight walls, sharp corners, and perfectly angled ceilings. And here's where it gets truly strange. Every single surface, the walls, the ceilings, the pillars, is covered in a uniform pattern of parallel chisel marks. It's as if a giant rake was dragged across the stone. These marks are consistent throughout the entire complex, suggesting a single, coordinated effort by a highly organized group of people. But who were they? And how did they do it? There are no historical records, no mentions in any local gazettes, no legends passed down through generations. Nothing. It's a complete historical black hole. Let's try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this project. Geologists estimate that nearly 1 million cubic meters of rock were excavated to create these caves. To put that into perspective, that's enough stone to build a wall 1 meter high and 1 meter wide, stretching from New York to Chicago. Even with modern technology, trucks, explosives, heavy machinery, this would be a monumental undertaking. To think that this was done thousands of years ago, by hand, with simple chisels and hammers, is almost beyond comprehension. Where did all that stone go? There's no trace of it. No massive piles of rubble, no repurposed building materials in the surrounding areas. 1 million cubic meters of rock simply vanished. And what about the tools? Not a single tool has ever been found inside the caves. No broken chisels, no discarded hammers. And perhaps most puzzling of all, there are no signs of life. No soot from torches on the ceilings, no pottery shards, no bones, no trash pits. It's as if the builders finished their work, cleaned up meticulously, and then walked away, erasing every trace of their existence. The mystery only deepens when you consider the purpose of these caverns. What were they for? The most obvious theory is that they were a quarry, a source for building materials. But this doesn't add up. Why would anyone go to the trouble of carving intricate decorative patterns on the walls and ceilings of a quarry? The chisel marks are too uniform, too deliberate to be a simple byproduct of excavation. Quarries are messy, functional places. The Longyou Caves are pristine, almost like underground palaces. So, if not a quarry, then what? Some have suggested they were secret military bases, or perhaps tombs for an emperor or a powerful dynasty. But again, the evidence just isn't there. No weapons have been found, no defensive structures. And crucially, no burials. Not a single human remain or funerary object has been discovered, which is unheard of for a tomb of this scale. In ancient China, tombs for the elite were filled with treasures and offerings to accompany them into the afterlife. The Longyou Caves are early empty. Another theory points to a religious or ritualistic purpose. Perhaps they were a place of worship, an underground temple complex. The uniform carvings and the grand, cathedral-like spaces certainly evoke a sense of awe. But again, where are the altars? The statues? The inscriptions dedicating the site to a deity? There's nothing. Just stone, silence, and the endless pattern of chisel marks. The acoustics are also strange. Sound seems to be dampened, creating an unnervingly quiet atmosphere, which could support a ritualistic function, but it's just another piece in a puzzle with no picture on the box. And the mystery isn't fully uncovered. Many of the known caves are still partially flooded. The dark, still water conceals their lower levels. What secrets are hidden beneath the surface? Are there more carvings? Artifacts that were intentionally submerged? Or could there be even deeper chambers, connecting tunnels, or the very answers we're searching for, locked away in the darkness? Modern sonar scans have hinted at more structures, but a full underwater excavation has yet to be done. It is a tantalizing thought that the key to unlocking Longyou's secrets is waiting just a few feet below the water. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Longyou Caves isn't what's there, but what isn't. The complete and total lack of any historical record is not normal. Ancient China was a civilization of scribes and record keepers. Dynasties chronicled everything from major wars to minor crop yields. For a project of this magnitude, which would have required thousands of laborers working for years, if not decades, to go completely unmentioned is impossible to believe. It couldn't have been an oversight. This suggests a deliberate, systematic erasure from history. It is as if the creators not only built this impossible structure but also orchestrated a conspiracy to make the world forget it ever existed. Why? What were they hiding? The Longyou Caves stand as a testament to what human hands can achieve, and perhaps, what they can choose to erase. But, as we leave this man-made enigma behind, we transition to another underground world, one just as vast, but born not from human ambition, but from the slow, patient power of nature. We travel from the silent, chiseled halls of China to the wild, sprawling labyrinth of Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, USA. Mammoth Cave is not a mystery of who built it, but a wonder of what nature can create. It is, by a huge margin, the longest known cave system in the world. As of today, over 670 kilometers or 420 miles of passages have been mapped and explored. And explorers are still discovering new tunnels every year. It's a subterranean continent, a network of colossal chambers, tight, claustrophobic crawls, deep pits, and underground rivers. The name Mammoth doesn't refer to the extinct animal, but to the sheer size of its passages. Walking through chambers like the rotunda feels like standing in a cathedral built by giants. And like the sterile silence of Longyou, Mammoth Cave is filled with echoes of the past. For thousands of years, Native Americans ventured deep inside, mining minerals like gypsum from the walls. They left behind artifacts, woven slippers, simple torches made from bundled reeds, and mysterious petroglyphs carved into the rock. Their footprints are still preserved in the dry dust of some passages, a ghostly reminder of the cave's first explorers. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, the cave became a tourist attraction and a place of both fascination and tragedy. It's haunted by legends, like that of the ghost of a bride left at the altar who is said to wander a passage now named Bridal Altar. The most famous story is the tragic fate of Floyd Collins in 1925. A local cave explorer, Collins became trapped in a narrow crawl space while trying to find a new entrance. For over 2 weeks, the nation was gripped by the rescue effort, which was one of the first major media sensations. But despite their best efforts, he couldn't be saved. His ordeal cemented the cave's reputation as a place of awe, beauty, and very real danger. It's a place where the darkness feels ancient and alive. Mammoth Cave is a living, breathing system, constantly being shaped by the water that drips, flows, and carves its way through the limestone. It's a powerful reminder that the underground world isn't just a canvas for human ambition. It is a realm of its own, vast, ancient, and utterly indifferent to us. It follows the laws of geology and time, not the plans of emperors or engineers. So we have two incredible underground worlds. One, meticulously carved by human hands and then deliberately forgotten, leaving us with a million questions and no answers. The other, sculpted by nature over millions of years, a sprawling wilderness that we are still only beginning to map. Both Longyou and Mammoth Cave show us that the world beneath our feet is just as mysterious and magnificent as the stars above. Whether carved with a chisel or by a river, these dark spaces hold stories that we have barely begun to understand, whispers from a world we rarely see. They challenge our sense of scale, our place in history, and our understanding of what is possible. From Derinkuyu to Teotihuacan, from Chavin to Longyou, and even Mammoth Cave, we've journeyed through the depths of human history. And we've seen how the underground has always been so much more than just stone and earth. It is a realm of survival, a sanctuary of secrecy, a theater of transformation. It's a mirror, reflecting our deepest fears and our most profound imagination. Each tunnel we've explored is a testament to our ancestors' ingenuity and their relationship with the world beneath their feet. These worlds beneath us serve as a powerful reminder that history isn't only written on the surface of the earth, it's also carved in silence, hidden away in profound darkness, and sealed for centuries, waiting to be rediscovered. Every single tunnel, every chamber, and every myth we've uncovered is just a fragment of humanity's ongoing dialogue with the great unknown. They whisper stories of gods, of survival against the elements, and of communities seeking refuge from a hostile world above. But this story is far from over, because even today, in our modern, technologically advanced era, we continue to carve vast and complex labyrinths deep beneath the earth. The reasons, however, have shifted. We're no longer building for ancient gods or sacred rituals. Now, we dig for weapons, for secrecy, and for power. The mysteries of the past are not just echoes. They resonate strongly in the shadows of our own time, reflecting a new set of ambitions and anxieties. In our next journey together, we're going to leave the myths of the ancient world behind and enter the age of machines. We'll explore the modern wonders and terrors built in secrecy. From China's formidable underground Great Wall to Russia's enigmatic Mount Yamantau. From clandestine military bases to whispered modern legends, the contemporary world has constructed its own hidden key. Angdoms below, on a scale our ancestors could have never imagined. So, make sure you subscribe and stay with us, because the greatest secrets aren't only buried in the ancient past. They are being built right now, right beneath our feet. Thanks for watching.